This week we're doing F4 at Suzuka East. Jumping right into qualifying here, this is really a track of two halves. I mean, you have the one half, which is just this, the long pit straight down into turn one. And then the second half, which is just a left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right sequence back onto the pit straight. So you have one half where you're just completely doing nothing to the tires or anything at all. And then you have this half here where it's complete tire management, trying not to cook the tires, trying not to spin or oversteer. Really rough line through that turn there. Really difficult to get the traction down there on the right turn of, what is that, 6 I think? And then a pretty conservative line up here through 8, and then 9 is just flat out. It's not much of a difficult corner that way. Down the pit straight again. It's going to be good enough for a 48.518, which I think was good enough for about 5th fastest during the qualifying session. Down to turn 1 again. Bit more brave on the brakes, but looking back at it at the end of the week, still a pretty gentle line overall. And through turn 3, and then 2 and 4. Just trying to find the correct line was quite difficult because every corner kind of bleeds into the next one. So if you get one corner wrong, you're going to get the next couple of corners wrong, and the time will just fall away from you really quickly. But look at that, a much more aggressive entry into turn 8. They're really bumping over the curb. There's a lot of time to be gained on the curbs on this track. That is something that I learned relatively quickly. Crossing the line, it's a 48.6, so we didn't actually improve on the second lap. But now we're going to jump into the race, and you'll see how that goes from P5 on the grid. Alright, as I said, we lined up P5 on the grid for the race. We're going to be on the left side of the track, just the third car back there, waiting for the 5 red lights to, well, they don't actually come on in the race, but I can see them from my cockpit. That's what matters. Anyway, a lot of wheel spin on the start there. Not a great start. Don't think I'm going to lose any positions. Maybe one on the right. We're going to see coming down to turn 1. Yeah, there's a car on my right. Zoom out a little bit. Oh, yes, it's the black livery car. Let's follow him during this race. Just about smack into the Renault as you see the black car go way ahead there, getting challenged on the right. Can I stick it up the inside? Yes, I can. Thankfully, he thinks better of it. Doesn't get in my way. And with a couple more corners, we are able to secure the position. So I think we're P6 at this point. Lost one position, not the end of the world. It's a long race. It's like 16 or 18 laps, something like that. Really long, actually. And one thing that we're going to notice during this race, during all these races, is that the slipstream, as you see one of the cars ahead there actually going off, we'll look at that later. The slipstream on this track was absolutely negligible. There was hardly any to speak of. And again, just keeping an eye on the car behind us. As you can see, we take turn 1 and turn 2. No real threat from behind. We're looking ahead now. 4 cars ahead. That puts us back in P5 where we started, so we'll take that. And it's going to become a pretty jumbled up race in a couple of laps here. And really just struggling for grip down that right-hander. I'm pretty sure that's 6. This is obviously 7 and then 8 and 9. So yeah, turn 6 was really my bane. During this race, I just struggled to get the front tires to grip down, and it can be frustrating at times when the cars ahead of you and even behind you seem to just have a magical line that you can't replicate, but it won't be much of a problem for us as we're going to go down the main straight here. I have a little look up on the inside, but it's really hard to go down into turn 1 here as we actually go wide, way too deep, just trying to find our footing. Not what you need to happen. As you see, we're going to get a little bit of a threat from behind, but just going to keep running our paces, running our laps, hitting our apexes, and thankfully nothing comes of it. We're getting pretty close to the cars ahead, actually, though. The Renault ahead of us really getting pressurized by our movements here. We're going to just try and force him to look into his mirrors and not at the apex where he has to turn as we go a little bit wide. I had the right line during qualifying. It's just it was hard to replicate during the race. Different fuel levels, things like that. I'm just going to head down the main straight, stay in the slipstream, but look, there's barely any slipstream to speak of. I'm barely even gaining. If anything, I'm just matching. So it was really hard to get any kind of slipstream pass done during the race unless you were really, really close, because obviously the slipstream is going to compound as you get closer. And through turn 3 again, really riding the curb, trying to get as straight of a line as you can. for the turn 4-5 complex, because I found that if I cut narrow here very consistently, I was able to do that where I got really, really close to the car behind, or the car ahead. Going through turn 7 again. As you see, this is the car in the lead. Goes way too wide, takes 2 wheels onto the grass, and actually spins out. Almost gets collected by the car ahead. Keep an eye on this this car on the left here, the black liveried car, as we're going to try and make something happen here. We're going to go right in the middle, make it 3 wide momentarily. I have to say I was not happy about this decision, but unfortunately I didn't really have anywhere to go. Didn't quite feel comfortable on the inside of the rental car as he backs out, and so does the black liveried car backing out. Oh, but he's coming back. Just sniffing at my gearbox. I'd really like to not be hit from behind and spun out here. Oh, but he's getting really close. Look how close he's getting. Absolutely nip and tuck between us. Right on my gearbox. I'm trying to go as fast as I can, but he runs into me. Ooh, just causes a little bit of a spin. You see his front wing has actually been damaged now, and he hits me and he goes off and he spins. We're going to have a look at that, because I don't think that was really either of our faults. That was more of a netcode issue, but let's have a look and see what happened. So this is the slow-mo. This is right after he tapped me and damaged his wing. You see I have a little bit of a snap, really struggling to maintain grip and speed. And he gets alongside me. He's definitely got the pace on me. He's obviously deserved the, he's earned the right to the room on the left side. This is the right-hander that I was always struggling with for grip. So now it's going to straighten out momentarily, and then it'll turn into a left-hander. You see, he's really close to me, but I'm pretty much up against the curb. There's a little bit more I could give him in terms of room, but remember, we're talking about, you know, milliseconds passing here between these corners. I don't exactly have time to think and ponder about it. And you see, I'm a little bit wide of the apex, but he's turning in across me, it feels like. And as you can see, there's no physical contact. There's just a netcode issue. I was actually having a fair bit of netcode issues this week. So if I did hit him on my screen, I apologize, but yeah, from my perspective, there was no contact. Skipping back ahead to the present time, down the main straight. See, I got a lot of work to do now. I'm actually in second due to the move I did into turn 1, double overtake. That was pretty fun. And now it's just going to be a matter of trying to claw down P1. He's a little bit ahead, maybe 1.5 seconds at this point. As you can see, there's all the cars scrapping behind us. Let's actually skip back there to the Cadillac liveried car, who runs into the back of the car ahead of him. But this gives you just a sense of what it was like behind. I wasn't really pressurized from behind this race because they were all fighting for P3. P3 and P5, I suppose, in this circumstance. But yeah, just not a lot of pressure behind. And that puts me in a really good position to focus on my laps and try to hunt down the leader. At this point, we're about halfway through the race, so like, you know, lap 8, lap 9, something like that. As you can see, this is me getting really close to the leader. This was, I think, a lap or 2 ahead of where we just were, as you can see from the darkening of the skies. And we're just getting close, but not close enough for a move. Certainly not into turn 8. There's no way you can make a dive down there. We're going to look at it, but never really any intention of doing that. Try to just get the line as tight as possible. Not the best line. The fast people on this track, as you can see, there's just no pressure behind. The fast people on this track seem really good at getting an exit onto the straight, which makes sense. You want a good exit onto the longest, or the only straight of the track. But I was just struggling with that a little bit. He goes a little bit wide there. As you can see, a back marker taking the scenic route. Thankfully, does not interfere, does not collect either us or the leader. But that might be a little bit of foreshadowing of what happened next. So yeah, just running our line. We always went tighter through that complex there on, was that turn 5, than everyone else did, and it seemed to work out for me, so I don't know why no one else was doing it. Maybe it was a tire wear thing. As we run around turn 8, turn 9, a little bit of smoke or dust or whatever ahead of us. It's always unsettling to see, but as long as there's no car, it's not really a problem, is it? So at this point, you can see we're just not really making that much of an impression down the front straight. There's just not, you see, we're still like at least 1 second behind him. There's not really much that we can do about that. The slipstream was just extremely ineffective. This is next lap. Look, it's the exact same thing. We're just not close enough to make any kind of move. We get somewhat close here into turn 2, but again, there's just no real way to overtake on the back half of this, or the back portion of this lap. There's just nowhere to go. It's all very small braking zones or just lifting, which makes it very difficult to make any kind of move possible. But we're going to try. Get an okay exit out of 8 into 9, dipping our tires onto the grass just a little bit. And you see, again, like we're kind of close, but not particularly close. It's frustrating. We're getting pretty close this lap, but I was just not able to make an impression. You really need to be like right up on their gearbox to make a move, because in turn 1, it's like you're just lifting into turn 1. There's not really any brake action until you're well into the corner. So we're going to jump onto an onboard here. This is the next lap. You see, this is what I was looking at all race long, was us getting close. Getting close. You can see we're definitely getting closer. And then I just run out of straight, and I have to, you know, brake for the corner, obviously. But then he goes wide, and this gives us a sniff, and this is where I thought we had a chance. Take the line. He's a little bit compromised due to his narrow entry into 3. And then you can see we're just catching him every corner, catching. Ooh, right on him. A little bit of understeer. Just that corner was so difficult to take, especially when there's gravel on it. You got no chance. Heading through the 8-9 complex once again. He actually has a huge slide coming out. Again, more dust, and this allows us to get alongside. This is the best move that we've had so far this entire race on this guy. This is really our only chance. Got a cool camera angle here, I think. Wait for it. Wait for it. That's pretty cool, right? And that shows 3rd place as well. That was when I discovered the custom camera tools in the iRacing replay. I'm going to try and make better use of that in the future, because I think there's a lot of potential in that. Down the inside into turn 1. We actually make it stick. We go a little bit wide and we lock up. We almost go into him. He's going along our left side here. Where is he? He's behind us. We've done it. We've taken the lead of the race. But now we have to keep it. There's still probably at least 5 or 6 laps left. But he's pretty far behind. I got a new camera angle as well through the suspension. That's pretty cool, right? I mean, there's a little bit of clipping in the model, but I mean, you see the artistic vision, right? You see the idea. Like, I thought it looked pretty cool. A little bit of a view into how the suspension is modeled in iRacing. It's very detailed. It's very satisfying. I like it quite a lot. Back to the overhead shot. He's kind of close. We're weaving a little bit. Inside, outside, inside again. I think it was okay, personally. I don't think it was weaving or blocking, because he didn't really have a move on in the first place. That's kind of how I see it. If there's no chance of a move, it's not really blocking. I was just trying to break the slipstream, obviously. You just can't make much of an impression. Whoa, there's a lapped car stopped right off the apex. Let's have a look at that. That was crazy. Smoke up ahead. I didn't really lift as much as I probably should have there, but I got away with it. Not really safe, though. Let's see how the guy behind us saw it. He's getting close to us. Narrow line. He sees the smoke. He sees me. He actually lifted off quite a lot more than me. He lost out a little bit as a result, which I'm thankful for. But, yeah, you got to be careful with those kind of things. And more gravel on the exit of 8. Really, really dangerous. That's a light traction zone on a good day. Throw some gravel in there and you got very little to work with. And so again, I'm doing a little bit of weaving on the straight, just trying to break the toe. Feint to the inside, feint again, doesn't really fall for it. But again, there's just no progress. But look at this on the brakes. Whoa! Way too deep. I think he had the right idea. He just overcooked it a smidgen. Let's see what he's able to do. Skip the rest of the lap, down the main straight again. I'm just not giving him the toe, and he's not even going for it. I think he's realized it's just not relevant enough to go for the toe. You get too close, you're going to back up into me and, you know, get washed out with the dirty air. Might as well stay behind, tuck in, and just try to have a good lap and a good exit onto turn 8 and 9, where the overtakes really occur. Another cool camera angle, I thought. All right, that's pretty cool against the curb. I thought it was cool. And again, he's within touching distance. He had me nervous the entire race. I'm pretty bad for staring in my mirror when the car behind is, you know, close, but not threateningly close. And we're going to see if he can make any impression here. Another big weave to the inside. I just don't want him to have any chance to go up the inside. But he just holds his line. We dive into turn 1. Everything is stable and maintained. He goes a little bit wide again. I think he's getting a little bit desperate. This was a weird camera angle, but I realized it was the one that I had last lap. It was just zoomed in for some reason. And aside from that clipping, it looks pretty cool. The zoom in from the crowd, it kind of looks like a real shot that way. Forgot to mention it, but this was actually the final lap of the race. We're coming near the end here. Going through turn 6 again. Turn 7, he's right behind us. There's more dust ahead of us. What's going on? Could there be an obstruction? No, it's just a lapped car. It's alright. This is the last lap, the last corner. We've made it. We've stayed ahead. He has no run on us, and we cross the finish line in first place. How about that? This was actually the second race that I had done, but I didn't have a good first race, so I didn't bother recording it. But this one, I won, so I thought I might record it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and I'm going to see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.